Jacqui.
Hello, Francine.
So, Jacqui, you have delivered the course Managing the Training Function and Efficient Training Needs Analysis. Many organizations claim that people are their most important asset. But in some of the organizations, the action do not always match this. Why such a paradox?
I think it's to do with language, actually. When people talk about the greatest asset, it sort of implies that they're like a toolbox or something that you're going to use to do something. And I think that when we talk about assets or people as agents, it doesn't actually give the impression that we actually want to invest in our people. So I think there's an implication on how people treat their staff when they talk about them as assets or agents, and also how the staff feel about the organisation. So I think there's a link with commitment and engagement, and also how we treat our staff.
In that case, is there any better way of using the term? Perhaps if asset perhaps sounds a bit banking or like material.
Why not just say people?
Yeah, people.
That's what we are, human beings with all the whole range of skills and talents that we all have, and things that we can do in an organisation to actually help the organisation succeed.
So why is it important, though, to conduct training needs analysis in an organisation?
Well, organisations need to think about what they need for the future to meet their strategic objectives. And one of the most effective ways is to do a proper training needs analysis. But it does mean that you've got to get full engagement from everybody in the organisation to actually take part in the training needs analysis. The training needs analysis should give you so much information. And it's not just about training as a result, but also all sorts of different opportunities for investing in people.
You mentioned engagement. How can you make sure that people are engaged in this process then?
Engaged in the training needs analysis? Well, a lot of it's to do with communication. And I know that we all, as facilitators, talk a lot about communication. But from my experience, the more effective training needs analysis are when we actually have a full communication process. And that's not just about sending out an email. It's about focus groups. It's about engaging with managers and getting them to talk to their staff about how important the process is.
So can you give me an overview of this session, what you have delivered during the course recently?
The training needs analysis.
The training needs analysis.
Well, it's part of a wider course called Managing the Training Function, which covers all aspects of managing the training function and its links with strategic HR. But in particular with training needs analysis, we look at skills audits, we look at the difference between skills audits and training needs analysis. We look at all the techniques from observations to actually writing the questionnaire and the survey to things like critical incidents analysis, and a whole range of techniques that actually give people a practical insight into how to do a training needs analysis.
That's great. So how do you assess the current skills level in an organisation?
A good starting point is skills audits, looking at what the skills are currently in an organisation. If you like, it's a bit like a mini training needs analysis, but not taking it to as much depth as you do with training needs analysis. But you also look at things like performance appraisal, what customers think from their feedback about staff, things like indirectly things like job evaluation and absenteeism. They will give you some ideas about how people are performing.
So, Jacqui, what is the practical experience you bring in this course?
Apart from my membership as a chartered member of the Institute of Personal Development and the Institute of Leadership and Management, I have actually been involved in skills audits and training needs analysis as a consultant, but also as a member of an organisation, so I can actually tell people what it's actually like and how the difficulties, but also the benefits.
Okay, cool. So what are the challenges that you have seen organizations facing when they are carrying out a training need analysis?
I think one of the big ones is that training is often seen as low level. What I mean by that is sometimes people treat training as either remedial, you've done something wrong so you must go on a course, or as a reward. And sometimes there isn't really a good link to actually what really is required. Training may not be the answer. In addition, I think there's not enough communication, as I said before, about telling people why we're doing it as an organisation, and also how we get senior managers to realise the importance of actually finding out what people need to be able to do both in terms of skills and also behaviours, in order to help the organisation to succeed, but also because staff need to be able to feel that they're employable. Because we don't have careers for life now. Young people particularly, one of the things they look for in organisations is that opportunity for employability.
Yeah, just to lead on what you're just saying, is there a difference between carrying a training need analysis for the younger generation and the older generation?
Well, yes. For one thing is that obviously levels of experience and things like that, but also the types of questions that you ask and also the communication, why you're doing it. For older people, it's about enhancing what they're doing already. For younger people, it's about opportunities to grow and develop.
Okay, cool. So what organizations then need to avoid when they are, rolling out training need analysis?
Well, they've got to make sure they've got enough time, because it's not a process you just do in a week. They've got to make sure that there is not something else major happening. They're not doing a customer survey, satisfaction survey, for example, or there's not a big major initiative in terms of a project or something which is going to get in the way. People need to feel that they've got time. Also, things like the questionnaire doesn't want to be too long, so that it puts people off. And also, people need to feel that that it's confidential, that it's not going to affect promotion or anything else like that.
Yeah, okay, cool. So how executive and managers can develop, for example, their capacity to conduct effective training need analysis?
I think there needs to be a lot of training and development for managers as part of their management development programs, in terms of things like how to do performance management, how to set standards, how to measure how people are doing against those standards, and then to identify what skills, what behaviours are required to meet the strategic objectives of their department and also the organisation. There's also a bit about how managers look at the vision and also the direction the organisation's going in and how they cascade that down and their understanding of those things.
Okay, cool. So what are the practical benefits for the delegates who come here at GTC when they attend such a training? What do they get away with?
Well, it's an important part, if you're an HR professional, an important part of your role, and therefore they get practical advice as well as the theory, and also lots of opportunities to practice some of the techniques. For managers who come on our courses, although we market it very much towards our HR executives who want to come on our programs, it is also valid for managers because they understand the process and the techniques, and also there's a link from training needs analysis to evaluating whatever learning and development opportunities there are in the organisation. So it helps managers understand better what they need to do.
Okay, cool. So finally, what do you like about delivering courses at GTC?
Well, I like it very much because I feel part of the family. As a facilitator, I think all of us feel that we're part of the GTC family. But also we meet so many people from diverse organisations and cultures, and majority of them, 99% of them, particularly want to learn and go away with new ideas and new things that they can adopt and adapt and put into practice in their organisations. And that makes life, so much more inspiring for us as facilitators.
Thank you very much, Jacqui.
We hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. GTC has trained and mentored thousands of managers and executives in the public and private sectors to develop the skills they need to achieve their highest potential. And we can help you too. For more information about our accredited courses, visit our website, thegtcgroup.com. You can also follow on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube.